The Secret Beneath the Soil. Sabra held the tiny packet of seeds as if it were a chest of gold. She had found it tucked inside an old book, and the picture on the front showed a flower so bright it looked like a piece of the sun. "I'm going to grow the biggest flower in the world," she declared to the empty garden. In the garden next door, Mr. Silas was working. He moved with a quiet, steady rhythm, snipping a dead leaf here and patting the rich, dark soil there. He didn't seem to be in any rush at all, moving as slowly as the clouds drifting overhead. Sabra didn't want to move slowly. She dug a hole with her bare hands, dropped the seed inside, and pushed the dirt back over it with a heavy thud. Then she sat back on her heels and waited. She stared at the brown patch of earth, expecting the sun-colored flower to burst forth at any second. 1 minute passed, then 2, then 5. Sabra stood up, huffing with frustration. She looked over the fence at her neighbor. "Mr. Silas, I think my seed is broken. I put it in the ground, but nothing is happening. It's just staying dirt." Mr. Silas walked over to the fence, leaning his weight against a wooden post. "A seed is a very private thing, Sabra," he said softly. "It's busy keeping a secret. It has to grow its roots deep into the dark before it's strong enough to reach for the light." Sabra frowned, still skeptical. Silas reached over the fence and handed her his watering can. "It needs a drink, but be gentle," he coached. Together they watched as Sabra tilted the can, letting a soft pitter-patter of water soak into the thirsty earth. The next morning, Sabra ran outside in her pajamas, but the dirt was still just dirt. The day after that, it rained, and she watched from the window, hoping the water would wake the flower up. But by the 5th day, her excitement had turned into a dull disappointment. She stopped checking the garden. A full week later, Sabra went outside to fetch a lost ball. She happened to glance at the spot by the fence and froze. A tiny, pale green hook was poking through the crusty soil. It was smaller than her littlest fingernail, but it was undeniably alive. The days turned into weeks. The tiny hook became a stem, and the stem grew leaves as broad as Sabra's hands. Finally, a giant bud unfurled into a magnificent, golden sunflower that towered over her head. Silas stood by the fence, admiring the height of the bloom. "It took a long time," Sabra whispered, touching a soft petal. Silas nodded. "The best things usually do," he replied. Sabra realized then that the waiting hadn't been a waste of time. It was the very thing that made the blooming feel like a miracle.